NBA fans, welcome back to my channel. Jordan versus LeBron. Okay, let's get into this. This is why Jordan is the GOAT. Players that played with an all-star teammate. This is what this one will be about. Another great video. When the LeBron fans say Jordan was nothing without Pippen. So, one guy that we left out right here was Larry Bird and Tim Duncan. And we might do a video on that later. But this is, to me, this is what makes Jordan the GOAT among everything. Because, you know, a lot of LeBron fans say that Jordan was 1-9 before Pippen, and Jordan didn't play any competition in the finals. Okay, so let's see here. When Jordan was playing in the 90s, who was he supposed to beat when he had one all-star teammate the whole time? And when he won 4 out of 6 championships, two of those championships, he didn't have an all-star teammate. So who was he really supposed to be playing against? Was he supposed to be playing against, let's say, a Steph Curry Warriors? When Draymond Green, not Draymond, Kevin Durant, Curry, and Clay was going to these all-star teams? Was he supposed to be playing against who? Who was he supposed to be playing against? He was supposed to be playing against super teams with one all-star teammate, okay? This is the nonsense that the LeBron fans come up with. This guy was not playing on super teams. Even Kukoc, he wasn't making all-star teams. Why wasn't Kukoc making an all-star team? He played in 94 without Jordan. He played in 95. He played past the all-star break without Jordan. How come Kukoc didn't make the all-star team? You got 2006, 7, 8. He played when Jordan retired. How come Kukoc didn't make the all-star team? Why didn't he make the all-star team? Nobody knows. The LeBron fans, they're so delirious, they'll tell you that Horace Grant and B.J. Armstrong and even Dennis Rodman made an all-star team with Michael Jordan. And you know why? Guys like Dennis Rodman, Horace Grant, and maybe B.J. Armstrong didn't make the all-star team in those years with Jordan. It's because the East was so strong. They just wasn't better than other players in those positions in the league. They just wasn't. They just wasn't. And you could say, oh, man, they wasn't going to put 3 guys on the all-star team. Well, if you go back and you look at, I think it was 98, Shaq, Kobe, Eddie Jones, and what's this guy's name? I think Nick Van Exel all made the all-star team in the same season and got swept by the Plumbers, Utah Jazz. So I'm guessing John Hornacek and John Stockton, they were just more athletic than Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel, Shaq, and Kobe? Really? That was the biggest failed season of all time. And that's why you really can't put Shaq in no top 5. You can't put Shaq as no most dominant player of all time. Are you kidding me? That was in 98. You go to 99, they got beat again. So people need to know their history about the NBA. Athleticism doesn't win you championships. X's and O's wins you the championship. Okay, you could just see Mahomes. He just won the championship again. You think they had a better team than the 49ers? You think they had a better team than Buffalo? No. This probably was their worst team that they had since they won the championship, okay? With no Tyreek Hill and people like that. And a lot of these guys that was on all 3 championship teams, they were tired. They were tired and run down. So it's not about athleticism all the time. or Jordan probably would have won 10 championships, right? It's about the X's and O's in executing offenses, plays, defense, executing. Okay, and until Jordan had teams that could do that, he wasn't going to win. No matter how much athleticism he had, you're going to look at the Celtics in the 80s. They weren't athletic, but they were blowing Jordan's team out, okay, by executing plays on offense and defense. Yeah, let Jordan get his, but the other guys on the team, they just weren't good enough. And Jordan didn't start winning championships based off his athleticism in the 90s. You know, he won championships off of executing plays on offense and defense. That's how he won. That's how he got, won, what was it, three times in the 90s. They won like 70 games. One year they won 60, and another year they won 60. It was just crazy. Why? Because they could have took days off. They could have been like, look, man, we're just too great for everybody else now. Okay, we're the dynasty now. We're going to beat all these teams in the playoffs, in the regular season anyway. So let's just lay back and just, not go out there and try hard and lose like 20 games, lose like 30 games. And then, like the LeBron teams were doing in Miami, in Cleveland. They were just that better than everybody else in the East, in some of the West. So they didn't go out there and try to break Jordan's record, even though they had a better team than the Bulls. Any three-peat team that the Bulls had, that Miami team was better. Ray Allen, you had Wade, Bosh, and LeBron. I mean, you had a slew of guys. El Gauskas was on that team at one time. Rashad Lewis, Shane Battier. I mean, those teams, they kind of like, was different every year, but those teams were loaded. Those teams were loaded with talent. And LeBron, I think he only won 60 games one time and was the number one seed in the East one time. That's shameful right there. I mean, you check it out. You cannot put that much good talent on one team. Okay, you just can't, and expect good things to happen, and especially win championships. That's why he lost so many championships. It's not that they had so much good talent, it's that they had too many number ones. Okay, Ray Allen was a franchise number one player at one time on Milwaukee. Let's see, you had Wade, number one franchise player at one time. Bosh, number one franchise player at one time. You had what's his name? Kyrie Irving, number one franchise player before LeBron came. And you had Love, the same. You can't have that much talent on one team, but LeBron needs that because he has so many shortcomings, okay? If he would not have brought Ray Allen to that team in 2013, they would have lost that year. They would have lost that year because Ray Allen hit that shot. LeBron came down, LeBricked it to tie the game. And LeBron LeBricked it. And we know what happened then. Ray Allen hit that lucky shot, and that was that. So, if you got homegrown talent, like you had Magic and Kareem, Magic came in as a draft pick. He wasn't a number one franchise player of the team. Neither was Worthy. Neither was Kobe at the time with Shaq. And a lot of these players that played with Bill Russell was still the number one franchise guy player over all these guys, even Cousy. So, you just look at LeBron's all-star teammates, and all these guys, I think, except for, I think all these guys were number ones on another team. Even El Gauskas, he should be on here. So we need to add another one on here for LeBron. Because El Gauskas, he was in there in LeBron's second season in 2005. They both made the All-Star team. LeBron didn't even make the playoffs. Jordan would have been killed. Oh, what? You didn't make the playoffs and you had an all-star teammate in your prime? Wow. Shh, don't nobody say nothing because El Gauskas is trash, even though he made the all-star team the year before LeBron came. And imagine if LeBron was never on that team. He probably would have made about 4 all-stars. So let's go over this. As we can see, Jordan had 1 all-star teammate his entire career, okay? In what? Pippen didn't make it in 88, 89. He made it in 90, and he made it in 91, okay? So, like I said, 2 of them championships, the hardest ones, the first one and the last one, when Jordan was 35, Pippen didn't even make an all-star team, okay? But Jordan was supposed to be facing super teams, and he had a super team, right? This type of nonsense. This is all he had. Let's go to Kareem. You can see he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all-star teammates in his career, and we won't even count up all the all-stars appearances because it was a lot. You have Magic. 1, 2, 3, 4 all-star teammates in his career. You got Kobe. I don't know. We should have switched it up and put Shaq too, but just couldn't fit them all on here. Kobe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all-star teammates. Bill Russell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 all-star teammates. And you know LeBron, El Gauskas should be on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 all-star teammates while LeBron has been playing in the NBA. And you know, Shaq he's definitely right behind Kobe as far as all-star teammates. When we look at he played with Penny Hardaway. I'm not sure if like Nick Anderson and Dennis what's his name? Dennis Scott, if he was making all-star teams back then. But this is what it was, man. Could you imagine going 6-0, winning 6 championships with 1 all-star teammate, and then 2 of those championships you didn't even have an all-star teammate? Look, this is the deal. Stockton, he had Malone as an all-star teammate. They had each other together. You had Kemp and who was it? Kemp and Gary Payton. They were all-star teammates together. You had, let me see. At one point, you had Terry Porter and Buck Williams and Clyde Drexler. They were teammates together. You had, I'm talking about the guys they played. Let me see. Charles Barkley and Dan Marley. They were all-star teammates. At one point, you had, of course, you had Magic Johnson, and then you had James Worthy. They were all-star teammates at one point. And, oh, man, let me think. I think that's the only people they play, right? The Blazers, the Sonics. Yeah. So when Jordan was going against these teams in the 90s in the finals, they were all-stars. These teams had 2 all-stars or more on their team. Now, like I said, Shawn Kemp, he should be making the Hall of Fame. He had like 6, 7 all-star appearances. There's no way this guy shouldn't be making the Hall of Fame. I don't know if he'll make it later. That's just bull crap to me, okay? So this is why Michael Jordan is a GOAT. Tell me what you think, man. This is just, and like I said, Bird, he had a whole bunch of help. So tell me what you think.